Can you hear me? So, we have discussed the preliminary topic yesterday, like an introduction. Now, I'm going to go into the Upanishad, designated for today, which is the Ishavasya Upanishad. Now, the Ishavasya Upanishad is also not a very large Upanishad. It has 18 shlokas only. We discussed another Upanishad, which was the Mandukya Upanishad, which had only 12 verses. This has some more, have 18 verses. And it's a very important Upanishad. It comes from the Yajur Veda, second Rig Veda, Yajur Veda. And it's a particularly important Upanishad for those who want to live in this world and continue to do their work and fulfill their responsibilities, and at the same time anchor their mind on that which cannot be anchored to. Am I speaking in riddles? What the Upanishad says. Okay. Now, every Upanishad has an opening invocation. And in this Upanishad, the invocation is the famous, well-known mantra, Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamaduchyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Now if you read, listen or chant this mantra, the main word you keep hearing is Purna. Purna, Purna, Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamaduchyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Avashishyate. This is the invocation for the Ishavasya Upanishad. As you go along studying the Upanishad, you will see why this particular invocation has been selected for the Ishavasya Upanishad. Not by me, by the ancients. So, let's look at this mantra first, because an understanding of the invocation will help you to understand the Upanishad better. So, the meaning first, literal meaning. Purnam, Purnamadah. The word Purna could be translated as completeness, fullness, totality, and so on. But I would like to stick to the word fullness. All of us, we like to be fulfilled in some way, fulfilled. So, fullness is a nice translation for Purna. So, the Upanishad says, Purnam Adah, the invocation says, Purnam Adah, which means that is full or complete. Purnam Idam, this is full or complete. Purnasya Purnamataya, when this completeness is taken out of that completeness, Purnameva Avashishyate, the completeness remains always complete, doesn't diminish. It remains the same. The nearest physical law you can kind of refer to is that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Or let's say mass can neither be created nor destroyed, can only be turned from one form to another. It will remain constant. Here, go to one step further and says, the origin of this entire universe that we see, which looks incomplete to us, unfulfilled many a time, always leaving some blank areas which we hope we can fill but we can't, and so on. The origin of this universe, this world which appears incomplete to us, is completeness. It comes, the origin of this imperfect, incomplete, unfulfilled existence is actually the fullness in all its complete, universal, all-pervasiveness. That is the origin of this universe. So the question is, if that is the origin of this universe, what is it to me? Because I seem to be incomplete. I'm not full. I'm always craving to be full. Are we? We are always craving to be full. It is this craving to Purna that keeps us going. This is evolution. The whole world is moving this way. I need something. I'm not happy, so I move forward. I find it. I'm happy for some time. Then I want more. Then I'm happy when I get it. And then I want more. You can, if you have any doubt about this, ask Warren Buffett. I want more. And then I get it, and then I want still more. And it goes on and on. And the Upanishad says the origin of this apparently incomplete system is that completeness, that fullness from which this universe has come. So if I am like this and the origin is, who cares? I mean, I don't care what the origin is, but I'm not like that now, right? I'm always trying to fulfill, trying to be happy, trying to make others, which is okay, but we try to make others happy because we want to be happy, not because they have to be happy. So this whole movement of, trying. But the Upanishad has something startling to say. It next says, Purnamidam, this is also complete. But I say, no, it's not complete. The Upanishad says this is also complete. Purnamadah Purnamidam, this is also complete. And it says this completeness has come out of that completeness. So it cannot be incomplete. And when this has come out of that, it still remains complete. There is no diminishing of completeness in it. It's the same. But our experience shows that we are incomplete, we are looking for the completeness. The Upanishad says we are looking for completeness because it is built into our system somewhere that there is something complete which I am not able to find. It's built in. We know that it's not wrong to look for completeness because it's part of our life. It's built in. We are seeking that completeness. And the ancient teaching says that's fine because it is built in. Everybody seeks it. But you seek it in the wrong direction, that's all. It cannot be achieved by gathering. It can only be achieved by letting go. When I say letting go, not give up. Please make... Now this is the philosophical and metaphysical aspect of this invocation. There's also a practical application to this. Now, who wants to find that fullness? Even in this life, it gives this beautiful message that your potential is infinite. It's not just finite. It is not something that comes and goes. It's not something that is always unsatisfied. But in its fullness, you are more than what you think you are. So to find that, we need to get rid of what we think we are, right? You know the famous joke when somebody caught someone by the collar and said, "Who the hell do you think you are?" This guy said, "In India we don't think who we are, we know who we are." I hope so. Mostly forgotten in India, but then. So, it also gives the message that your potential is infinite, it's not limited. Because if you have come from the unlimited and the complete, then even in this world, your potential is still infinite. Don't reduce yours, I can only do this. It's much more than that. But then for that, you need to get rid of the limitations which have been pumped into our system. Oh, you are this, so you can only do this. You are this, so you cannot do more than this. When that limitation is removed from the mind, then you see infinite potential. But the greatest potential that you could utilize is to find your true self, which by itself is complete and doesn't require any additions to be complete. So therefore, the other ashramas of life, in ancient times, life was divided into 4 sections. One is the period of learning, which was called the brahmacharya. Brahmacharya doesn't mean just celibate. It means the period where you learn how to move towards the Brahman, to the truth. Brahmacharya. And then you go into the next part of life, which is the family life, the married life, whatever you do, where you're no more alone, you're living with the others to share life with. And then you learn life's lessons, you work, find out various factors, you draw a line and say, while my desires are limitless, at least I need to do this much. And then you draw a line and say, okay, fine. Now, all that I have gathered, I haven't found the happiness and completeness that I sought, and therefore is there some other way? So you retire into quiet areas, go into a ranch in Texas or somewhere, and then say that now I've done my job, let me meditate and contemplate. Not when you're torturing, before that. And find out what it is all about, the next stage, vanaprastha. Then when you have discovered that what you seek or what you sought is already here and now, part of my being, then I say, no, I'm not interested in anything else now. I lead a happy life. If I am still strong, I'll bicycle to town and come back, and so on. So these were the 4 stages in life. But that doesn't mean that you have to wait for the 4 stages to find it. You can find it now, life is beautiful, you can still lead your life. This is my message. Find it now. That you're finding it doesn't mean you're going to throw everything away and go. Where will you go? This world is everywhere, you cannot go anywhere. Suppose I want to go in solitude, isolation somewhere. I don't like the word isolation, say solitude. Do I go alone? No, my mind is with me. And my mind is more company than any 10 people together. I take it with me, right? So there is no escape that way. It's in the mind. I agree that short periods of solitude are great. As long as you don't get so bored that you start puffing away. Good, no harm. That's not a solution. There's not a perfect solution, a permanent solution. You need to find that solitude in the midst of everything. Here, you come here, for instance, you come here to Sacred Grove. Nice, lot of trees, forest, Babaji's temple in the grotto, with food, but we still bring our mind, and then we gather another group around us in the dining hall. See, so it's all, there's no solution, no permanent solution. The permanent solution is when you realize that in perfect solitude you are with everybody. So, and this Upanishad, Ishavasya, as you go on reading, understanding, studying, you realize it does not advocate giving up work, but says work even for 100 years without work attaching itself to you. So this is the Upanishad. So, Purnamadah Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamaduchyate, Purnasya Purnamataya, Purnameva Avashishyate. It's all complete. No need to rush, no need to run. Okay? Now we'll start the Upanishad. I had to abandon my old book because some of the pages went missing. I don't know, somebody thought it's important and took it off. So I got this new book. Now, the Isha Upanishad, Ishavasya Upanishad, also called the Isha Upanishad, coming from the Yajur Veda, having only 18 shlokas, starts like this. Ishavasyamidam sarvam, Ishavasyamidam sarvam, yatkincha Jagatyam jagat, Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha, ma gridha kasya svidhanam. This is how it starts. It starts with some statements and ends with almost a question, half a question. It says, Ishavasyamidam sarvam, the rishi who had the experience of that completeness, or rather, who understood that completeness, which is expressed in the invocation, says, all this, whatever moves in this world, moving world, is pervaded by that supreme reality. Ishavasyamidam sarvam. Idam means here and now, not tomorrow or yesterday. This world, which is called Jagat, Jagatyam, the world, the universe in Sanskrit, in the Upanishad, is called Jagat. Jagat is derived from the word Jagatyam. Jagatyam means that which is constantly moving. This constant movement is not only physical, it's also the mind. You know this, we don't have to say this. The earth moves, all other planets move, right? Jagatyam movement. The entire galaxy moves, seasons move, time moves. I am young, few years ago. Time moves and I'm old soon. Everything moves. And physical matter, you might think this is not moving. You just need to ask a physicist. There is so much motion inside this, you don't see it because your instruments of perception are not sharp to detect it. There is movement. In fact, if you look at solid matter, there is no solid matter. It's mostly space with some charges moving. But we live in this great illusion that it is solid. Everything is in motion. Night, day, day, night. Life, death. Is there anything that doesn't move? Moves. In fact, one of the human being's greatest unhappiness is that one is not able to stop this movement. Go into the internet, most of the medicines sold are how to keep young, how to arrest your age. You can't, it moves. Yeah, you can make some little bit adjustment here and there, but it doesn't stop, it moves. And relationships, do they stay the same? No, they move, they change. Everything is in motion. Jagatyam. Therefore the universe is called Jagat, that which moves. And as far as the mind is concerned, you don't have to tell anybody whether it moves or not. It's always moving. It's here today, gone in seconds somewhere else. Movement is constant, therefore it is Jagat. So the Upanishad says, this supreme being, this completeness, fullness, that supreme reality pervades everything here in this moving world. Which means, in this entire constant movement of this Jagat, there is one place, one center, one core which is quiet and silent and tranquil. Everything moves around it. And that silent center, which is the eye of the cyclone. The cyclone sucks in everything into the eye. The eye, there is no movement, there's only a vacuum. But movement is there everywhere. So that center of the universe, in the midst of this Jagat, the moving world, is the Isha, is the supreme being, supreme reality. Let me put it in another way. Before I leave, I want you to, so that I don't need many questions asking after. So, Plato put it a slightly different way when he said, he didn't say one thing, he said there are two things in this universe. But it's actually one. He said there are two things in this universe. One of them, is, is, and is never becoming. The other is not, but is ever becoming. So when the becoming stops, then there is only that which is. Why what is not seen? Because there is always this constant becoming. My mind is not tranquil, so I must become quiet. I'm becoming. But what is that utter tranquility of the Isha, which is our true essence. My bank balance is only this much, so I need to make it more, become more. So then it goes on becoming. And then in the end, many years ago somebody wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich. So, an old writer called Napoleon Hill. But finally he wrote another book and he said, rich is not just how much money you have, but the state of your mind. So, when the becoming ceases, there is only that which is. All our failures and all our disappointments are all because of this becoming. I'm not saying you shouldn't become, but understand that this being, at some points at least in your life, stay with the being. So you see the beauty of the being, and then that becoming, well, it goes on, you can't stop it, everything is moving, but you're not caught in it. Ishavasya idam sarvam etkincha jagatyam jagat. That supreme reality, Isha, pervades everything here in this world which is always moving. It is the silent, tranquil spot in the midst of all movement. Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha. So therefore, let go and rejoice. Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha. But from childhood we have been taught, gather to rejoice. Let go and rejoice. Ma kridha kasya svidhanam, which means, therefore, since the true reality, which is you, is the center which is always tranquil and happy and not becoming anything. When you understand this, you let go this act of becoming, more to do with the mind, by realize, and therefore you do not want to covet other people's wealth, what belongs to somebody else. You know, the problem is not to appreciate or like something. The problem is when I say I need to pluck it and put it in my own pocket. This is the problem. I see flowers, beautiful flowers. I ask, nice, they look nice in the garden. The problem is I want to cut it and put it in my pocket. Then the problem starts. There are very many beautiful beings on this earth. Beautiful judged from our standards and upbringing. There is no harm in seeing, oh, they are beautiful, but the moment I say I need them, the problem starts. Because somebody else also wants, right? And I also want. This clash. And when I want, the thing I want tries to run away, generally. When I don't want, it tries to come to you. Yeah. A good practical lesson. If you really want to fall in love with somebody, don't go on calling the person. Just move as if you don't know, and then that person will come to you. I'm joking. Say more, oh, I long to... I'm self-sufficient. Then they feel, how can somebody be self-sufficient? Let's go. So, anyway, these are practical things. Mostly meant for youngsters, not for me. So, what is the actual meaning of this Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha? Let go and rejoice. Does it mean give up everything? You give up everything, you cannot rejoice, because you will be craving for it again and again. So what is let go and rejoice? You need to study it carefully. The fact is, much of our suffering is because we are not ready to let go of the hurts and the pains that have been caused to us in the past. That sits down and becomes a festering wound. It will not allow you to live in peace and happiness. So the question is, who cares what has happened? Look, right now, does the past exist, except that it has produced the present? Apart from that, 1 minute before you came into this hall is over. It's not there, except in my mind. In my mind, yes, I came from the dining hall, then I came here, I did. But actually, only reality now is here. We are here facing each other. Suppose some 20 years ago, Anita got upset and gave me a hard slap, suppose. You didn't, I'm joking. You give me a hard slap. Well, how long will that slap last? Well, if it was very strong, if one tooth flew out or something, it may take some more time. But generally, how long will that slap last? 1 day? 1 hour? Right? But for me, it will last a lifetime. Actual slap is gone. As a fact, it no longer exists. So where does it exist? In my mind. I carry it for 20 years in my mind. Oh, she slapped me. That too before everybody. It's terrible. Right? There is nothing terrible, it's finished. Actually, it is not there. But it is there. In the brain, it's festering, it's become a terrible wound, sitting there. I cannot forget it. Therefore, I cannot see Anita now because I'm only looking at her with this 20-year picture. Please don't look, she's not, it's just an example. I'm looking at her with that image for 20 years. I cannot get rid of it. Somebody messed up my accounts, it is dead and gone, but I cannot forget it for years, it's in my mind. Can I be free of it? Can I dump it? Let go and rejoice. Tena Tyaktena. Can I open the window and throw it out? When I go to sleep, can I say, this day is finished, dead? Tomorrow morning is a new day. Can I live this? This is called let go and rejoice. It's not easy, but then life is beautiful if we can do it. All the revenge and everything that happens in the world may not be physical revenge, the mind. And also remember that sometimes it may not be a slap, because a physical slap it goes off easily. A mind slap remains forever. Suppose somebody called me a fool. You can, no harm. It's worse than you slapping me because it sits in my mind. Oh, they call me a fool, but I'm a wise man, but I might be a fool. Right? And if you call me a fool, and if I don't know English, what does it matter? If I know only Hindi, I might think you're calling me a pool, a flower, and be very happy about it. What is the actuality? So, in Hindi, a flower is a pool. You might think a fool, a pool, okay? So, Tena Tyaktena, let go and rejoice. When you sit down and think of the all-pervading Supreme Self, let go of all the images that you carry from the past. It's not easy. So, if it is possible, and I think it's possible, if I think it's possible, I'm sure you think it's possible, then you are free. You started. You see, the journey is as important as the goal. It's not as if you're waiting for the goal. When you let go of this and move forward, the journey itself becomes a goal. The joy is in the journey. Sometimes you might have traveled in a comfortable train through the countryside for 2-3 days, if it is a comfortable train. And you see these beautiful sights from the windows. When it stops, you go out. And then when you reach your destination, you feel, oh, that was lovely. Now you have reached a destination that doesn't move. It's the same. So enjoy the journey of discovery. Not just the aim, Don't spend time creating images of the goal, because you haven't reached it, you don't know what it is. Well, your images then would depend on what somebody has told you. Who knows? Move forward. So in these 4 verses, all these things which we discussed for so long has been put in. Ishavasya sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha magradha kasya svidhanam. Don't covet anybody's wealth. Reminds me of somebody, not discouraging people who bring flowers, but there was, you must have heard of George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw was a great, he was Irish, so he had this something secret, something against the English, but it doesn't matter. But he was a great English dramatist. He wrote a lot of English plays. Anybody knows one name of play? Bernard Shaw, no. Okay, so once a journalist went to interview him, and she looked around the house and she interviewed him, and she said, "Well, sir, somebody told me you love flowers. I don't find a single flower in a flower vase in your house. How is this possible?" So he opened the window and said, "These flowers in the garden, they look beautiful there. I also love children. I don't cut them and put them in vases in my house." So, it doesn't belong to you anymore. It belongs to everybody. Means tomorrow if somebody opens the gate of Blossom Foundation and comes without permission, don't get into panic. It belongs to them also. Okay. Also, let me tell you this. We discussed, we said, can we get up in the morning and think it's a new day and move forward? Can we throw away today when it is over, or yesterday when it is over, out of the window? I said that, right? I don't know if you've figured this out. Every day that when one goes to sleep, it's like a rehearsal of the final sleep. We all have to sleep finally, right? So before that, every night we have a little rehearsal of this final rest. And it's so much like death, have you noticed? If you allow you to sleep for 3 days continuously, you begin to smell a little bit like a dead body. That's why we get up in the morning and brush our teeth with the best smelling toothpaste possible. And we do all the kind of things that we do, remove the dead skin, and so the new one comes, and so on and so forth. It's dead, right? So it's a small death. Every day we die, but we don't want to accept it, right? So in the same way, can I die for today and live when I wake up as a new day? This would sum up the meaning of let go and rejoice. It also means when you sit down and say, I'm meditating, let go of all the built-up things that are in your mind. Say, okay, for half an hour I don't care, I'm sitting here. This is a nice gadget. The second shloka of this Upanishad says, Kurvanneveha karmani jiji visheta shatam samaha evam tvai nanyate tosti na karma lipyate nare. It means This is what I said. This is the Upanishad which says there is no point in running away from life. Stay. Perform works even if you wish to live for 100 years. But if you live this life, as we discussed in the previous shloka, then you can do whatever you like, but none of the stains of karma will touch you. If I understand the first shloka and lead my life saying Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha, let go and rejoice, and if I live understanding the fact that the Supreme Reality pervades everything here, which is also my true identity, that reality, then you can live here and work for 100 years. In fact, the Upanishad says, Evam Tvayi Nanyate, there is no other way for you, O man, than living in this world and doing work. But if you understand what was said before and work accordingly, you can live and work for 100 years and na karma lipyate nare. None of the effects of your deeds are going to stick to you. You're free. You lead your life in absolute freedom. Now, the third sloka is talking about those who cannot live like that. Talking about, well, it can include me or us, okay. It says, Asurya nama te lokaha andhena tamasa vrata tamste pratyabhigachanti eke atmahano jana. Those people who do not understand what we said just now, the rishis, no, I'm not saying, who do not understand what this, enter into worlds of blinding darkness, enveloped by blinding darkness. After death, they go to worlds of blinding darkness. They are called the slayers of the self. Atmahano jana. They are called slayers of the self. Such, if they don't understand what has been said, after death, when the body goes, they enter into a world of complete darkness. Why complete darkness? Because you're confused. The only thing you thought that is dear to you is this world and the beautiful memories in which we were basking. All that is gone in 1 second. So you're in darkness searching for the light. It's all over. However, you know, on the subject, although one of the reasons we are afraid of death, one of the reasons, minor reasons, is that it is unknown what happens after that. But that's only partly, it's a small part of it. The most important part of why we are afraid of death is very simple. Suppose I say that I have control over death. Suppose I don't. Don't come and tell me tomorrow, please control my death. Suppose I have control. And I say, look, you don't worry about dying. Maybe you're dying tomorrow, day after. Not you, please don't worry. Please don't be worried about it, because I know a method by which you can take everything that you love with you. Who is afraid of death? Suppose I can take all the things and all the people and everything that I love, including my car, or my dog, or my horse. Forgot to mention the wife. So, who is afraid of death? Nobody is afraid of. If I assure you, look, don't worry, you're dying tomorrow, you can take everything with you. I said, oh, thank you very much. But main fear is that I will have to leave everything that I consider dear and near to me and go. This is the fear, mostly. Also there is a little bit of, it is unknown, so we don't know what's going to happen. There's an old story. There was a great person called Guru Nanak. Quite an interesting man. In his early days, he used to work as a storekeeper in one of the little provinces in Punjab, whose head was a Nawab. He used to do a lot of social work. He was also a storekeeper. He had to give up the storekeeper's job because one day he inadvertently committed a mistake. His job was to every day gather all the people. He was given a measure, kind of a bowl in his hand, fill the grains and give it to them one by one. So it went on the first day quite well. So in Hindi and Punjabi roughly the same. One is ek, do, teen, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So he kept measuring and giving it to people. It went on clear till 12. Now 12 is 12 in Hindi. Then came the next number, 13. Now in Hindi and Punjabi, 13 is Tera. So when he came to Tera, in Hindi, Tera also means yours. Not mine, yours. Word meaning of the Tera is one is the number 13, the other is yours. So when he came there, he forgot. He kept giving the same person the grains again and again, saying Tera, Tera, Tera. So they stopped him. What is going on? He said, nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to you. So this great man, in those days he was considered strange. But this great man, the thing is, when you're doing something original, people always think you're strange. And then it has to be established by society. Then they say, oh, he's a great man. So anyway, so the Nawab of that area. Now, after that, Guru Nanak went around doing a lot of social work, helping people. Now, to do that, you need money, right? If we could do some work, I wouldn't even charge you for the retreat. So then you need money. So everybody used to help a little bit. And the Nawab was the richest man. When you say Nawab, you know what's a Nawab? The serf, the head of the place. We don't have anything like that now, but like a king. Nawab is a Urdu word. So, everybody used to contribute to whatever work that he did, except the Nawab. He was the richest person, of course, the ruler. He would respect him, but he wouldn't part with anything, So one day, Guru Nanak sent him a note, a small note. The note said, "Dear sir, greetings and respects. You and I are both going to die. Probably, I feel that you will die before me." He got scared. He thought he's a holy man, so maybe it's going to come true. So you will probably die before me. So do me a favor. He sent him a small piece of paper with a sewing needle in it. You know what? A needle that you use to sew clothes, small little thing. He wrapped it and sent it, and he said, "So you're going to die first and I'm coming after that. So when you die, please take this needle with you, keep it safe, and when I die and come there, give it to me." Now I've got quite worried. Now this holy man's words can come true. I might go first and he might come to how to carry the needle with me when I die. So he came and met him and said, I'm so sorry, but I cannot carry the needle with me. He said, then how are you going to carry all your wealth? Use it for something good, man. So the fear is this, that I cannot carry things with me. Then otherwise there will be no fear. Right. So, those who die, everybody is going to die. I'm not saying it in a bad way. You, I, we all have to go at some point. In fact, to die to something which you really earn for in this life is equivalent to dying in the end. If you know that, then there's no fear then. So, the Upanishad says, those who do not understand this fact, one, that your true ID is that all-pervading supreme reality, which is your true ID, and that you don't have to carry anything to the other side. There's no point, because our source is complete. And one who understands this goes back into completeness, from where he or she has come. When you do that, if you don't do that, then when you die, you enter a world of complete darkness and disaster. Because you don't know what to do now. Everything that you thought was giving you happiness is left behind. Such people, in turn, the Upanishad called such people Atmahanojana, killers of the self, true self. Then the fourth sloka. Now here, after having said that the Supreme Self pervades everything here, and it is not different from you, Purnamadah Purnamidam, this is also complete. The Upanishad is trying to describe something which is the true essence of all beings and which is called Isha in the Upanishad, in terms which contradict each other. Like, for instance, a physical object can be here at one time and there at another time. It cannot be here and there at the same time, can it? Can't be. But the substance that we are discussing is something which is all-pervading. It's not, so it can be here and it can be there at the same time. So the only way to describe or try to make somebody understand is by giving contradictory statements, not to confuse us. And the fourth sloka starts with such a statement. That Supreme Spirit, which is also your true self, anejadegam manaso javiyo nainat deva apnuvat purvamarshat tad dvavato anyanatyeti tishtat tasmin napo matarishva dadati, which means that Supreme Reality is unmoving. It doesn't move, it's still, it's quiet, and yet it is swifter than the mind. Before the mind reaches there, it has touched it, which means it cannot be touched by the mind as we know it, mind as we know it. The senses cannot reach it because it is ahead of the senses always. Now it's a known fact that neurologists say that before you take a decision to use any of your senses, half a second before the brain already knows it's going to happen, right? And so, before the mind moves, it has already moved there. If the brain can move, the witness of the brain knows even before. That's unmoving, ever-existing, all-pervading Isha. It's swifter than the mind. The senses do not reach it because it is always ahead of the senses. Though it stands still, it outstrips those who run. You must think there's a tongue twister. Tad dhavato anyanatyeti. Tasmin tishtat tasmin apo matarishva dadhati. Though it stands still, it reaches before I reach. It outstrips all that runs. In it, the all-pervading air supports the activities of all beings. And we have to go back to the last part of the Tena Upanishad to kind of understand what this means. That it's unmoving yet swifter than anything else. That it's still, but it outstrips all that runs. Some of you attended the Tena Upanishad, right? How many? Yeah, so we had a nice story at the end, right? About the yaksha and the senses. So the senses are mentioned here. The senses cannot reach it because it outstrips them. So when I come back, I will give you that story. And then we will go to the next sloka. The fifth sloka says, Tadde jati tanne jati taddure tadvatantike tad antarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasyasya bahyata. Which means it moves and it moves not. It is far and it is near. It is within all. It is also outside everything. So, if such is a thing, then we cannot reach it, right? Maybe when all reaching stops, it is. Okay, we'll come back and I will tell you that story so it will be a little more clear. Those who attended Tena Upanishad are already clear, they are illumined. We don't have to. So. Not now. Let's finish the Upanishads first, then we will get into. You certainly will ask. Can ask. I'm sorry. Okay, we get a 5 minutes, 10 minutes break. Okay.